how to remove and reinstall a VWK 2110-73, which fits a 73 to 79 Ford F-Series pickup
and a 78-79 Bronco. Some useful tools for the removal and installation of this part would be a socket set, because there will be a couple of bolts that you need to remove. Some tape, so you can tape off your paint so it doesn't get scratched in the removal and reinstallation of this. A door panel remover, which is used to pop the clips off holding the door panel on, and a spring clip remover, which holds your window crank on. This is good for removing it and putting it back on.
Some other useful tools are the Weatherstrip tool right here. That is the plastic, so it won't scratch your paint and kind of helps to work out things. A drill, as there's some screws that you'll need to take off, not only for the door panel, but also for the upper part of the vent window assembly. So you also need a set of drill bits, because there will be rivets that you need to remove in the actual vent window assembly. And when you reinstall it, you need to have a rivet gun and then assorted rivets, which we'll go through in the video, and it will allow you to put everything back together. Now we're going to remove the inner door panel so we can get to the bolt that holds the vent window assembly in. Just need to remove a couple screws around the perimeter. There's two screws here and this one, and there's a screw for the handle that you need to remove. And for the handle, it's best to use a screwdriver. Now there's a couple clips behind here too that you'll have to work out. For that we have a tool. You will need to collect the clips later and put them back into the appropriate locations so you can reattach the door panel, but for now, put it off to the side. Okay, now we need to remove the vent window assembly. One bolt there is 7/16 of an inch, and then there's 3 screws up here. In order to get this out, you're going to need to drop the door glass or remove it from the lift mechanism, and we'll show you how to do that. Now for the first 2 screws you can use a screw gun, but the last one there's not enough distance, so you're going to have to find a shorter screwdriver. Okay, now this is loose. Work it out. Tilt it a little bit. Now what you're going to have to do is rotate the door glass so it comes off the pulley wheel. So you rotate it up until it, and hold with both hands. It will come off the wheel right here. And then you can slowly and carefully drop it to the bottom of the door, out of the way. And remember that it's in there. Now we can remove the vent window assembly. There's a trick to this, so take your time. Pull it out like this and back. Rotate it. Lower this as much as you can. Watch for this end so you can pop it out like that. And once it comes over, twist it so the L bracket comes out, and that's it. And you can put it off to the side, and we'll show you how to disassemble this. Okay, now that we have the vent window assembly removed from the door, we're going to need to remove this bolt, and we pre-soaked it to help work it loose. And then you're going to have to drill out this rivet right here. So let's get started. You may want to use an extra set of pliers to hold this right here so this bolt doesn't spin, because it could break off from the glass. But ours is pretty loose, so we don't need to do that right now. Now there's several washers here that are on either side of the spring. It's usually easier to take them off as a little bit of assembly and set it off to the side. And then there's 2 more here. What we like to do is just kind of keep everything the way it was on the stud. Now, before we can pull the glass out, we need to drill this out. It's a standard. Get a little WD-40 on the rivet to help the drill bit. We have now finished drilling out the rivet. Keep in mind it's a stainless steel rivet, so choose your drill bit appropriately and take your time. Now we need to slide the window out. Keep in mind that this is not completely round, so the orientation needs to be correct in order for it to slide out. So spin it a little bit and pull it. Keep in mind there's 2 washers here you need to catch. So you can put that off to the side. Put those there. Now this is a one-piece design, so it's pretty easy to get out. Just pick a spot, usually on the division post here, and you have to get it started. Just pull it out. And you can throw that in the junk pile, and then this flap right here will go toward the inside of the vehicle, and that's how you'll tell the left from the right. Everything's cut out to fit correctly, so what you need to do is start in the upper and work the bigger side and around, and then do the division post last. So make sure you have this flap on the outside of the frame. One of our weather stripping tools works really well to help work this in. You don't want to use a screwdriver or anything sharp because you'll rip the rubber. The best thing to do is put the one side in and then come back and work the other side in. Now it may appear that this is too long at first, but it won't be. They are made to fit correctly. You just have to get them in the groove. Okay, as we work this into the channel, it may look like it's too long, but you need to work it in and work it this way, and it will not be too long. I use a tool here to just work it into the groove. The radius here is the most difficult part to do. The best thing to do is push down with the chisel stick here and push in with your thumb and it'll pop right in. And for the division post, this section here, once again it may look a little long, but it will not be. It's easier to work the one side in, this side right here, and then push it down. Make sure you work it all the way in, all the way up to the corner. And then that's it. Now you can reassemble the glass into the frame exactly the opposite of how you took it out. Remembering to put these in as you put it in. Make sure you orientate this washer correctly. Just keep working it in. Keep in mind that since this Weatherstrip is new, it's going to be a really tight fit. And there you go. Now we need to replace this rivet right here. Best thing to do is to close the window, get everything lined up correctly. And then lock it. And for this particular model, you're going to need to use a rivet with a grip range of 1/64 to 1/8 inch, and the hole diameter is a number 20. Make sure everything lines up the way you want it before you start riveting anything. You know, always have your buddy help you out when you're doing this. Now you got the rivet in, you can unlock your window, and there you go. Once you get done riveting it in, you just need to reassemble a spring down here. Remember that you stacked them in the order that goes onto the stud. Just reassemble everything. You do not want to over tighten this, but you want to snug it up good. That controls how easily the window will open and close. You get it to where you think you want it, you can just kind of test it out. Okay, now we're going to reassemble the vent window into the door. You have to put it in the exact opposite way we took it out, which means have the bracket like this, turn it in, keep it low, and slide it in, and spin it, and just kind of put it where it needs to be right now, because we need to reinstall the door glass onto the runners before we bolt this back in. Okay, now we have to put the door glass back onto the runner. In order to do that, you need to kind of work this out a little bit, the vent window, in order to give yourself enough room. Be cautious about scraping your paint. Make sure the door mechanism is all the way down, so crank it down. Take your door glass, kind of the opposite of how you disassembled it. You want to get it in here. Have it come up a little bit like this, so it's at about 45-degree angle. And then you'll need to put it back on the wheel down here, and then spin it. Keep in mind that you need to have enough clearance here, so you're going to have to move stuff around, but just make sure you don't drop the glass. Make sure the glass is all the way back, like this, so it's all the way back in the regular position. Kind of hold it right here to keep it stabilized. And then, as you put this back in, make sure that the division post is going over the glass. Work it in here. Double check to make sure it's all in here. So you have to kind of move it back forward to get it seated into the channel good. Make sure your bolt lines up here. And we'll get this later, but kind of loosely put this in here just to keep it in place. So keep it loose. Okay, now we need to put back the 3 screws right up here. Make sure you have the screws a little loose. Okay, as you put the screws back in, there's a flap here. It needs to be tucked into the door, so make sure you have the screws a little loose and they can move. And push it up in there. And then you can go ahead and start tightening down your screws. You want to watch and make sure you tighten enough so it pulls it in and covers your paint line. You got those in, then you can come back and finishing to tighten your bolt down here. To reinstall a door panel onto the door, we put back the plastic clips that were on this vehicle. It's missing some of them because they're broken out. Kind of line it up here. And take the screws. Then you can put the door handle back on. Make sure you got it level the way you want it. And hold it while you tighten it down. And the little tray's got to go back in here. Gonna put it in like this. Once again, just be careful so you don't over tighten anything and crack any plastic. Then you gotta put the door crank back on, put the last screw in, and you're done.
Thank you for viewing our video. I hope it was very useful in the removal and the installation of your part. If you have any further questions, you can contact us via the website live chat or the phone number on the website.
Please make sure to also follow us on our Facebook page. We will announce new parts and new videos on our Facebook page. Also our blog is a good spot to keep track of what we're coming out with. And subscribe to our YouTube channel to see all of our latest videos. Thank you.